Hey, what's going on, everybody, man? It's your boy, Ja, founder of Voice of the Streets, man. And I have a very, very, very special episode to present to you guys, man. I have Big Rich right here, and I have his lovely wife right here, and we're gonna talk about, you know, all the beautiful things that they've done together, you know, being a power couple, the awards that they recently won, you know, Big Rich's career and everything like that. So you guys stay tuned, man. Stick to them seats. Let's do it, and make sure you guys go subscribe, man. Hit that subscribe button. All right, let's do it. I appreciate you guys for coming through. Honestly, like, you know, it's an honor to have you guys sitting down with me.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having us, for real. This is dope. You know, it's been a long time in the making. We're supposed to make it happen. So when Danielle told me, I was excited.
Yeah,
so
I appreciate it. Like I said, I appreciate it, man. You know, I want to get your guys' story out there. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're a pillar in this in the culture, and, like, you know, in the city and everything like that. So it's like I want to make sure to shed a light on that. You know what I mean?
Thank you, bro.
Yeah, so
my daughter's over there making noise.
No,
it's a family affair. It's all
okay.
good.
No, it's okay, man.
Thank
you know,
you,
it's
bro.
love. It's family in here, man. So
Yes,
let's get it started. So I'm just gonna ask you guys like a few questions. Rich, I'm gonna start with you though.
Okay.
So let's start with, like, you know, project level and you know how that came to be.
Right. So for those who know, I was a rapper for a long time.
Right.
Straight out of San Francisco, California, Fillmore District to be exact.
Right.
And you know, I came up. Well, me and Danielle, we came up in it was a lot of turmoil, you know, growing up in the Bay Area, growing up in our area. And we, you know, being connected, I'm from that element, born and raised. That was born and raised in that element as far as the hood, the ghetto, you know, the poverty.
Exactly.
So it was always around. Music kind of like was my steer to keep me on the straight and narrow.
Right.
But my whole family is from the game, and you know, I'm an 80s baby, so you already know what comes with that. So I hustled, I did everything, you know, like that, but I still had music, so that's what kept me straight. Right. And towards the end of my career, which, you know, we always had a plan to kind of, like, you know, we wanted to be able to transition while the name was still credible. You know, everything was still in place. We didn't want to wait too long, so we rather leave early than leave too late,
or get stagnant. You know what I mean?
Or get stagnant, right? So that was the plan from the jump with me and Danielle. So Project Level kind of came from just, like, in the last couple of years, we was touring a lot, and every time we came back, you know, somebody was either gone, they was either dead, or they was in jail, and there was a lot of youngsters. You know what I'm saying? So we used to try to bring some of them with us. We used to try to keep them working, keep them in the studio, but it didn't always work. So. We was like, let's stop and let's really organize this. Yeah. And Project Level came of it.
Yeah, that's beautiful. See, and that's what I'm saying. Like that right there says a lot and speaks a lot about you guys, and, like, you know, the love that you guys have for the community and for the younger generation that's coming up under you guys.
Absolutely.
Because you know, people, you know, typically, like, in the young generation, people are like, man, nobody's really, like, looking out for me. Nobody's really looking out for us. There's no opportunities, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I appreciate the fact that you guys are doing that, you know what I mean? And I think like everybody should love that, you know what I'm saying? Like, you guys are out here really trying to not even trying. You guys are, you know, putting your legacy, you know, on the line, because you are finding these artists that are making a name for themselves, and you are putting your name behind them, but also giving them the space to be able to be themselves and be creative at the same time. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And take them away from that element that you know that you're familiar with. You know what I'm saying?
Completely. I mean, you know how they say bad news travels fast, right? So I feel like good news is the opposite. Right. So what we've built, it was, you know, I mean, I used to tell people, like, when I first started rapping, it was corny. Right. I started rapping in the early 90s, 91, 92, but 93 I really started taking it serious, and I was 11. So I'm like taking it serious at 11, but I really did. Like, I never stopped after that. But man, I grew up, you know, it was high traffic. It was, what I mean by traffic, I'm talking about dope selling, right? So hustlers looked at rappers as cornballs, like, y'all studio gangsters. Like, so when I started rapping at a young age, some of my partners look like, nah, man, we outside. We outside on this block. What is you doing? And, you know, trying to make beats. What is you trying to do? Right. Same thing with Project Level. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, you know, 10, 15 years after that day, when all my friends was looking at me like I was tripping with this music stuff, it paid off. Everybody's rapping now, right? Like, all the dope dealers want to be rappers now, right? So same thing with Project Level. Now, I feel like me and Danielle has been able to do something where we we turned like what was square, right? Giving back, which is ridiculous, right?
It's like stupid to think about that. Like hip hop should never have been looked at like that. But the fact that it has been is just showing like the disconnect at the time. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like everybody, it's like a full circle.
It's a full circle. Yeah. So now what we're doing with the community based work is the same thing. I feel like we've been able to make it something that everyone can find a way in. I'm not gonna sit there and say we made community give back cool. It's always been cool, right? But I think we've in the Bay Area at least, we've been able to show them a blueprint on how they can be involved and how giving back is already what they're doing anyway. When you start a record label and you sign artists, you giving these artists a chance. It's the same thing.
You're changing their lives.
Yeah, you're changing their life. Yeah. You already got the basis of what we're doing, but we just took a more intentional, direction towards it, and we built from the ground up, and we started them young.
I kind of feel like it's more personal too. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Like it's more of like a passion project in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Like
100%.
Like seeing where they're coming from, and their passion and work ethic. That's what like attracts you to them. You know what I'm saying?
100%. Yeah, absolutely. So that was the nucleus of it. We knew it would be a 10-year, at least a 10-year investment before we can even start seeing any real effects.
Right.
And we right on course. We're in our 10th year, going on year 11, and the success is amazing. Yeah. And also just knowing too, like even when you said like just getting y'all story out there, we knew that we were stepping into a selfless position and not being on the camera as much. You know what I mean? Like now we're on the camera again. Yeah. But like for 10 years we was away from the cameras and we was just back there building and growing. Right. And we knew that we was gonna go through that. So we never really got lost in there, that got upset. We just stayed course.
Right, because it's not like, you're on the camera just for the look of it. You're on the camera to broadcast the blessing that you guys are bringing to the community, to those younger generations. So Absolutely. it's a different kind of flex. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Way different kind of flex.
Absolutely.
So would you say that's kind of like where 1015 kind of, grew from as well?
Yeah, I think, and I'll let Danielle chime in with that. Okay. Because 1015 has always been around. It's the day we met. It's literally October 15th, 2005. Oh, wow. And because we are 50-50 partners in everything we do, we felt that the management, fold of everything will make sense with being 1015. Right. So we, but that was a product because the youth that we were developing through Project Level, they were becoming stars. Right. You know what I mean? Like they actually was bona fide becoming stars. So we wanted to be able to support them further outside of Project Level and be able to like really utilize our resources properly and professionally. Right. So 1015 came back, and that's kind of Danielle's, that's her faction of the whole movement. So
let's hear from the queen right here. Let's hear from Wife.
Yeah, I feel like 1015 really was created because there was a hub that was needed. Like, so the young people, they could manage their careers themselves, or they can go out and find management. But since we already built such a rapport with them, they wanted to be with people they trusted. Right. They wanted to be with people who taught them the game, who told them how to, what the ins and outs were, like what to beware of. Right. So that we just found like that was an opportunity for us to support them if that's what they wanted from us. Yeah. And really our first client is our daughter, the 14-year-old that just walked out. Wow. And her career and how that came about. And we just, like he said, it's our anniversary. So we're like, we're going to make this something where it's a space where people can grow, feel nurtured, protected, supported, and developed, and be in a space where they can really flourish and have a longer career. Yeah. So it's more about, it's more than just management. Yeah. It's longevity.
Yeah, because the backing is everything,
Exactly. Facts. Because, we also know how crucial it is in this industry. Yeah. And if you're coming from Project Level, you're coming from our community, we don't want to see you fail. Right. No, we don't want to see anybody fail. But also, like, if you came up underneath us, we want to make sure you have the best of everything. Yeah. Right. And who's going to really look out for you? You've seen what happened to TLC and New Edition and a lot of artists because they didn't have people in their ear that had the savvy to understand the business, and they were scared of business. It's like, we're going to tell you what it is, and this is like, what to protect yourself
like against. Options and make your choice from there. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So like I see that with with like Stunner Man and with like Gunna and everybody. I see like the effect that you guys have. I seen the hustle with them coming up, but then once you guys got around, then I seen that difference. You know what I'm saying? Right. So what they're saying is basically like with the backing and everything that they're able to bring by somebody that they really vision, being partners with, they give them options, and then from there, it's on your work ethic. If you're working as hard as you can be, then you're going to be on the radio 24/7 like Stunning Man, or you're going to be, out there, but it's on your work ethic, and it's on being seen and having work. Some people want to just have that one track, and then they're like, oh, I'm ready. Yeah. Now you got to have those projects. You got to have that fan base. It's a lot of things that goes into that, what I'm saying?
And I think even keyed on something super important about options. Like even with Stunning Man and Gunna, when we were working with them, like we were there to be a support always. It was a partnership, and the brilliant thing about him is he likes to empower the people around him. Right. And so when he got to a space where he felt secure and he had things in place, it was like he wanted to bring his team along. So we're like, let's do that. Let's transition. Right. You everything that we've built, you can take to your team, and now they can pick it up. And now we're creating like generational wealth, right? Like, and we're spreading the wealth, right? Exactly. So it's not just we are the gatekeepers of anybody's situation. So even just how that happened, it was like we transitioned, we separated, and they're doing really well. Like look at Summer Jam, all over the radio, still doing amazing things. Exactly. Like you can't. That's all like about partnership and teamwork and understanding like who you are and what position you play and being okay with that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like in our role, and it's really hard as a leader for people to be like, it's okay if I'm here from here to here. Some people would be like, no, if I'm not the only boss, then that's a problem. So like we give everybody we work with options. Right.
Yeah, because I feel like that honestly is like the best way to get the most out of somebody in a respectful sense, because like if you're giving them the option, now they can make a choice, you know what I mean, opposed to just here, sign this, and then we're just going to do whatever with you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Gives them more freedom, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, coming up, like in my situations, like if people like San Quinn, Chuck, Charles Kelly, who's we watching his product on TV right now, he's second in charge at Incredible, but those are the two fellas that put me in the game. You know what I mean? And if they didn't take out that time, and then it's like, some did a lot, some didn't do a lot, but just the opportunity itself was enough for me to be like, okay, I'm gonna get in, I'm going, and I'm gonna go. And like without that opportunity, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to you right now, and me and Danielle wouldn't be here right now. So that's the same ideology that we do when we give these opportunities to other youngsters, and we and unfortunately, I think the independent hustle is huge in the Bay Area, and now with with tech, it's a very corporate type of energy in the Bay Area as well. But when it gets to the music industry, outside of, like I always say, Empire and Ghazi, there's not a whole lot of business structure in the Bay Area, in the music industry. We try to provide that. So, of course, we like aliens to a lot of people. They they don't know what we talking about. They like, what is this? And, like, I can actually do this, and I do have independence, and you are co-signed. Like, it's like I want to bring, me and Danielle, we always talk, we want to bring, like, everything that we didn't get or we had to like create on our own, we want to provide, right? Because that was very important, and with San Quinn and E40 as well, by co-signing my first album. Like without that, I wouldn't have been able to get in the game and do what I did. And it's a trip, like talking to all of my partners and people that signed me and Koch Records and all them, and like we talk now as grown men, and they just like, we didn't even know that this is what you was going in. They just was like, man, we thought you was another rapper. You was dope. E40 was co-signing you. Chuck was co-signing you. You had a movement. But I'm like, the whole time I'm like, I'm just trying to get in, that's so we can build.
Just get your foot in the door.
Absolutely.
Get your foot wet. That's it.
So it's beautiful to see the stuff coming to fruition, and even if we're educating and getting to know 10 more people, 20, 100 more people from this podcast, we're with that step-by-step process of building this empire.
Yeah, 100%. So you did have your kids in today. So talk to me about like fatherhood, man, how important that is,
Super important, bro. I think just, that was another reason, excuse me, why we stepped back too, because our girls was 2 and 4, I think, when I retired, and it was like they were, like looking back on it, it's like they're growing up. They were still kids, but I felt like we were missing a lot of moments, you know what I mean, in their life, and I'm like, this rap stuff is cool, but the
family's more important.
It's way more important. So we were very glad we made that decision, and it, you know, allowed us to really be in their lives. And then now, just like starting over as parents, really with Gianna is next level amazing, because we were broke when we had the first two. You know what I mean? We were in the grind. We were still babies. We was in our early 20s. You know what I mean? So being now in our late 30s and stuff, having these kids,
you give her everything.
Oh man, and we straight. You know what I mean? Now, like financially and just more stable. So she's able to get a different, you know, life from us, but more importantly, we able to give her that time and love that we weren't able to do for the two others until later. You know what I mean? So so it's dope.
That's like a full circle from like where you came from and everything like that.
100%. Full circle. Like heck, I think you know, like we're very like transparent type of parents, right? So they're exposed to every aspect of our life as far as business and just everything that we go through, because we don't want to shield them from reality and stuff like that. So they're real young and mature. They're young, but they're very mature, and like they like our best friends. You know what I mean? We're a gang. You know what I'm saying? It's a gang. So we chilling and we good and we living and enjoying life, and we're proud of them too, for sure.
All the girls, man, they got you. You know, it's just you.
Absolutely. It's especially the baby. The baby is definitely my little twin. I think Bianca is more Danielle, and our oldest, is my twin as well. So you know, I'm proud of that. I wanted my son. We might try one more time, and gets a little rich, but you know, but I'm happy with them three for sure.
That's a blessing. That's a blessing. So can you tell me like what made you guys want to work together? What made you guys want to work together?
Yeah, that's a great question.
There's a lot of couples, you know.
Right. No, it's first off, it's a very complicated thing to do.
Yeah.
But when we met, I was like how we met, and I knew about his group. He was in Fully Loaded, and a friend of mine dated a member there, and then a friend I went to school with brother was in Fully Loaded, so I had a connection instantly. Yeah. And then we eventually met, and it was like, wow, I was just proud of his journey. I thought it was amazing. I'm like, wow, somebody from our hood is doing something. And it's like, it was cool because I loved music. I loved the industry, and it was such a big, far away thing. So for it to be this close, I was just like happy to just be supportive. And when we were together, I was like, what do you need? How can I help? Like, I'm not trying to be your management. I just wanted to learn. I thought the music industry was so interesting, and I wanted to dive head first. So I was like, whatever. I started reading books, and I was like, okay, this is what we need to do.
Just diving deep into it,
She kind of being modest. I think, like, I feel like when she came on, I was in transition. I had just signed with Koch Records. Probably 2 songs was recorded for that first album. Like, it wasn't E40 hadn't signed on to it yet. It was like real early.
Right.
And I think I put like a mixtape out with Filmo Mike called Who the Fuck is Big Rich? I can cuss, right?
Yeah, you good.
Who the Fuck is Big Rich is like this mixtape that didn't go around the corner. It didn't do shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it was something that I needed to do to break away from the group, which was my heart. That was everything. Shout out to Toriano, Vegan Mob, Toriano, and Bailey. Shout out to Bailey. That's San Quinn's little brother. We were a group for like 8 years. We started out together. Yeah. But I needed something. I needed a statement to make. So I did that little mixtape. And this is around the time that me and Danielle was like getting to know each other. But the thing about Danielle was her whole family sings. They talented. Yeah. And like at that time, I wasn't in position to sign any artists or do anything like that. And Danielle really had a passion and still does have a passion to sing.
Right.
And I'm like, all right, look, I need your brain. I need your support. I need all of the great things that she didn't even realize she had.
Right.
So I was like, are we going to really do this singing thing? And if you want to,
then I'm going to push you.
I'm going to push you.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to do that. You're going to have to, like, are you ready for that?
Work.
And it wasn't that she wasn't ready for it, but she was just like, you already going. Like, I just want to support you.
Right.
And then I'll tell her, like, I promise you that I'm going to go nonstop until we make it, right? Like, it was like if you're going to sacrifice your singing career to help me build my rap career, then I'm not going to disappoint you. I'm going to go all the way in. You know what I mean? So that was like the beginning. And then ever since then, I remember she went to a marketing meeting in New York. She flew herself out there, too. Okay. She came out. We had a marketing meeting with the label. Right. And, like, we in there with Alan Grunblatt, who I'm looking at Cameron, who signed Cameron and Dipset over there to Koch, too. And then, like, legendary, you know, old Jewish guy in the game, like he's super. And we in there talking, and we just going over the marketing plan. And mind you, I'm a new artist. Right. They don't know who I am. They ain't got no sales records, no nothing.
Right.
And then like we just talking, and she came with the idea. I don't even remember what the idea was, but Alan stopped the meeting and was like, "That's perfect.
Right.
We're gonna do that."
Right.
And I looked at her. I was like, "Oh yeah, let's go." Like you know what I'm saying? Because she wasn't even supposed to be in the meeting. She was just like she was my friend. You know what I mean? My girl. So it was like when I seen that, I was like, "Okay, she different." And when I say she different, bro, she's different. Yeah. It's crazy what she does behind the scenes.
Y'all dynamic that moment.
100%. That's when I knew that she was really built for this. So I was lucky at that point.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I think it was important to I wanted to support his career and I wanted to learn at the same time.
Right.
So that's what made it easy for us to work together because I knew what it was going to take, and I also was like, well, I'm not going to get in the way of it because I have to remove my personal feelings from it because it's like, okay, if a woman wants to take a picture, first off, women are fans. They're going to buy records. They're going to buy whatever. Right. If I came into the situation like, oh no, you can't take a picture. Like, how am I helping his career? We're looking for this, you know? Like, but if I act like that, we're not going to go anywhere. It was like putting our personal stuff to the side. We decided as together, like, this is what we're going to do. These are our boundaries. We're not going to cross this. And we have an understanding. So no matter what happens, we know this is business. Right. And then when the cameras are off, we're back to who we are. And we're never going to lose ourselves in that.
Exactly.
And so that's what made it easy for us to work together. But, we've hit some bumps and, some curves and, but
it's all every relationship.
But we talked through it. You know what I'm saying? And we're like, okay, this is what we need to do. This is how we pivot. This is when we, we're going to transition, transitioning from music to the nonprofit was really hard for me because I was like, well, what are we going to do? Right. But I was like, but I trust your vision. So it was just like, I just knew that. Right. And I was down for that and was 110%, 20%, 1,000,000% into it. Yeah. So like whatever it was going to be.
And even with that, I knew that we was always going to get back into the music industry, but I just felt like we needed to, go disappear for a minute, revamp, and come back. You know what I'm saying?
Come back stronger.
So always. I mean, I think I'm gonna do this for the rest of my life. You know what I mean? Be involved in the music industry in some way, just entertainment industry in general. But we had to go do that for a minute, and now we good, straight. So it
was well worth it.
Yeah, absolutely. But thanks to her, though, I call her my architect, the architect of the whole machine, everything that we have going, visions and all these different things, and maybe like just resources and stuff is me, but Danielle is the one that puts everything together. She draws up the blueprint, so it can't do it without her.
That's amazing. So you were talking about saying Queen. Sorry, the train. Nah, but
they give me a chance to call for me.
No, you good. Nah, so we're brushing over a little bit like the music career that you had, everything like that. So let's get into that. You know what I mean? So how did that start for you?
Oh man, I was 9 years old, hanging around my older cousins. I always was the baby. I was the youngest. I came later, so I was hanging around my older cousins, and my older cousins, Orange and New Rich and Mark D, they was cool with Quinn. Quinn was like, neighbors of theirs, and he was just, a young phenom. Even before JT and them discovered him at like 11 or 12, he was a phenom. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like his voice was big, he was tall, he was talented as hell, his lyrics was crazy. But he wrote my first verse, and he gave me my first rap name. My first rap name was Dollar Bill. He took a play off of Rich and Richie Rich, and it was already a Richie Rich, at that time. Right. So we went with Dollar Bill, and he wrote a verse for me. The name of the song was called King of the Stage. It didn't go around the corner again, but it was the nucleus in the beginning for it. So
it was a start.
Yeah. So 2 years later, just being in the buildings I grew up in, it's called the Banneker Homes. Me and my friends, we was just downstairs, just freestyle. I wasn't freestyling. I was scared. Yeah. I didn't want to rap at all. Yeah. But they was freestyling and beatboxing, and I knew that my mom had bought like this karaoke machine for me for Christmas. And like I hear them rapping, I'm like, man, we can like literally record this. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know how, but we gonna figure it out. Yeah. So like about 10 of us just went up to my mom's house the next day. We was in her kitchen, just recording, just messing around. I'm 11, mind you. I'm 11 years old at this time, and we did like 3 or 4 songs in that first day, and it's just been on ever since, right? And building the rapport the same kind of way that I feel like we built, Project Level in 1015. Yeah. We had this thing called BRP. It was Big Rich Productions. Right. It was supposed to be a record label, but it was a production company because JT was Get Low Productions. I followed everything he did. Right. He didn't even know that, but I'm just watching him.
Right.
So I'm like, all right, we Big Rich Productions.
Right.
And then we was doing like mixtapes at that time, and I don't know what they called them, compilations. That's what we was doing. We was doing that, selling them at school, and like really building a buzz. You know what I mean? In out there, because at that time, you had to know a dope dealer who had money to get you studio time, right? If you're going to go to the Enhancers, you're going to go to TC's over Hunters Point, everybody, you know, that legendary spots. Right. But I had like a little, you know, home recording studio that all the youngsters who couldn't afford it, they used to come to my spot, and we built this team and we built the buzz. Right. And at that time, that's when Quinn and Chuck came back after a session with me. And Toriano was like a buzzing rapper at that time. His name was Young No. He had an album out. We kind of looked up to him. He was a couple years older than me and Bailey. So like he, you know, he came over to the house and we did a song. He took that song over to Delvin, rest in peace. That's Charles Kelly's little brother. He just passed away, Cookie Monster, one of the founding members of Cookies and stuff like that. He took it to him, and then Delvin took it to Chuck. Chuck already knew what was going on because of Bailey with Quinn. Right. And then we put Fully Loaded together, and we was off to the races.
That was it. Rest is history.
Yeah, rest is history. It was a fun time though. We was kids though. We was 16, you know, 14, 15, 16 years old, having hella fun. Yeah. You know what I mean? It was cool.
Like so like what was like a great memory that you have, like studio memory, or you know what I mean?
Endless. I mean, I'm talking about like just being in the studio with Andre Nicotina, or being in the studio with Messy Marv, like in like the prime, excuse me, in the prime days, you know what I mean? When Mess was like right before he hit his peak, his biggest point. Right. Just being in there with them, like learning from them, Willie Hen, Demo the Youngster, just being around a lot of those legends was crazy. Just like label meetings, you know what I mean? We used to go out to the distributor. I used to always like follow Chuck. I used to shadow him everywhere he went. So just sitting in these label meetings and learning about the stuff. And it was always in my head, and it was a vision, but to see it actually taking place was amazing. It was a great time. It was like, I feel like it was high school.
You didn't mention Mac Dre.
Oh yeah, yeah, no, absolutely.
Because I was gonna ask a story about Dre too.
Right, because we just got back from Kansas City with Lil Kayla. Right, and that's my first time literally being out there since 1999, 2000. Wow. So it's been like 22, 23. I'm only 40, so it's like half of my life ago. You know what I mean? But the first time we ever went, shout out to Coolio the Underdog. They booked Quinn and Mac Dre to do a series of shows out there. And then Quinn brought us, you know, the youngsters, the group, Fully Loaded. So we was out there with Dre. I'm talking about, this is like rapper gone bad Dre. So this is before the dreads. This is before like, he was fresh out. You know what I mean? The Romp compilation that just came out. So it was fun times. Dre was actually getting his footing back and developing and getting ready to what he was going to become and what he was going to do. So
like Too Hard for Radio, Dre.
Right, exactly. So it was dope just to be able to experience that with him. And he took us under his wing, and to the day he passed, we was with Dre all of the time. And just like he took a liking into us. We was young. It reminded him of when he was a youngster. We got a lot of footage. I got to get all the footage and stuff and round it up and stuff like that though. But a lot of great times with Dre. Dre was a great dude, man, for real. Like genuinely a great dude. Yeah. So it's crazy.
He's like one of those like he's in his own realm when it comes to Bay Area artists, you know what I mean?
100%. And he knew what he became and what, the whole Thiz brand. And shout out to all the Thiz homies that's fam right there. Yeah. Kilo and everybody and Dan. But everybody. Definitely. And Dre knew. He knew what it was gonna become. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's just unfortunate he didn't get a chance to see it. Yeah. But he knew what he was building. That whole Thiz Nation, like, that took place after he passed. Yeah. We were in the sessions with them about 2 or 3 weeks before he passed, and we jumped on one of those compilations and mixtapes that he was doing. But he was assembling that Thiz Nation before he even passed away. Yeah. So he knew what he was building. So I'm just, I'm honored to, be able to call him my big homie. You know what I mean? So it's dope. It's dope.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Shout out to Mac Wanda too. That's like auntie.
Shout out to cool. Mama Wanda. Man.
Absolutely.
She's amazing.
Absolutely.
She be chilling too. She's doing her thing. I'm glad she's like, she's happy. It still bothers me. I talked to her before, it bothers her, but she's still finding her way. You know what I'm saying?
She keeping them lit. I love that. You know what I'm saying? She could have just, went about her life, and I know she got all other things going on, but she keeping Dre lit, and it's almost been 20 years. It's crazy. It's almost been 20 years since he passed, but He's still the GOAT.
It's still infectious to this day.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Throwing
100.
a Dre song, the whole club going crazy.
100%. In any region, it don't matter where we at.
No matter where.
For real.
So before we get out of here, typically we ask everybody, like, what's like a piece of game that you can give to the youth, or like what's something that, you know, you guys, like what's something that you guys would want to like peel off to the youth. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Piece of game, some gems, something like that.
Want to kick it off?
Yeah.
I think it's, if there's something that you're naturally good at, like pursue that. Like if you have a passion for something, don't let people discourage you and say it's not a real job or it's not going to make money for you. What it's going to take is consistency, you know, and really investing into yourself. So if there's a dream that you have and you want it to turn into something profitable, you just have to work towards it. It could happen. And, you know, I have big faith, and I've always had big faith, and I'll never lose that. And if I didn't have the big faith, we wouldn't be here today. And we wouldn't have been able to build everything that we've built. So believe in yourself and the things that make you happy and go for that. Because you don't want to live a life where you followed what somebody else told you to do, and then you hit a point and you're like, wow, like what did I do for all this for? Like it doesn't even make me happy. Do I want to get up out of bed for it? So chase your dreams, totally follow whatever it is that you want to do, but just invest in yourself, be consistent, and don't give up on yourself. Bet on yourself.
Yeah, not bet on yourself. That's definitely her moniker. She uses a lot too. I got it tattooed on my right arm though. My shoulder hurting right now too for some reason. But it's fall in love with the process, right? And you know, like even trusting the process. I hear that a lot, but I think my theory on it is a little bit different with falling in love with the process. And I tell the kids this all of the time because, like, when you trust something, it's a little conditional because it's like, okay, look, I'm going to trust that you're going to get this done for me, right? So, like, but it's like, I'm in if you really going to do this. I trust you. Right. But falling in love, when you in love with someone or something, you ready to go through all the ups and downs. Yeah. It's not conditional. It's unconditional. And I think with this process, like, this industry, this game will really beat you down mentally. It will mess you up because you are, like, ultimately, you are like a number. As an artist, I always say, like, we're like, well, I mean, I'm going to say this in a non-derogatory way, but we are like monkeys in a way where we performers, we gestures, we hop on the stage and we entertain these people, right? You got to buy into that and know that, like, okay, I'm here for a purpose. I'm talented. I'm here. I'm going to monetize this, and I'm going to turn this into an enterprise, and I'm going to take care of my family with this talent. And once you buy into that, you understand what your role is and what you need to do, right? And so when you fall in love with the process, you go through all of those trials and tribulations with no problem and no sweat because eventually, man, it's going to pay off. You just have to just stay in the course and go. Exactly. You got to stay locked in and go. It's going to happen no matter what. Everybody gets their time. Everybody gets their day. And the ones that don't is the ones that, you know, that give up a little bit too soon. So I always tell them to fall in love with the process, bro. Go with the ups and downs. Take the bitter with the sweet. Yeah. You'll be all right.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
Of course.
For sure.
Speaking of the process, before I forget that, you know, the process that you guys been able to work over these last 10 years with the business, you know, now, you know, you guys got awarded for that, you know what I'm saying, with the Jefferson Award. You know what I'm saying? Definitely. So can you guys speak on that? So, like, for people who may not know what that award is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I mean, I even had to go Google and look. And when I seen the names, I seen, you know, Magic Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal. I seen Scooter Braun. I seen, like, all of these Harry Belafonte, like, I'm like, damn, how did we get this? Right now, but it was super dope. Danielle could tell that story because they reached out to her and they let her know about that. But it's an honor to be in that prestigious realm with those great individuals.
It's like a Hall of Fame or something.
I know, absolutely. And I was like, yo, this is almost too soon for the Hall of Fame. I felt like we was getting a Lifetime Achievement Award. Like, no, we got a lot more to go. But it's dope.
Yeah, no, it was nice. KPIX, we were nominated, and honestly, it came from one of our students that they spotlighted. And they just fell in love. So let me tell you about him real quick. His name is Izzy.
Shout out to Izzy.
Yes,
shout out to Izzy.
He's an amazing young man. He's at Morehouse right now.
Okay.
But how did he get to Morehouse? So they chose him. They wanted to do an interview. And, you know, his dream was to go to Morehouse, but he didn't apply. And or he didn't get accepted. I can't remember which one it was. But somebody who graduated from Morehouse watched the interview, and they were just highlighting him because his father passed away. And just seeing his success and how he overcame a lot. It was like a 4.0 student.
Wow.
And and they seen him, and they gave the news station a call, say, hey, we would like for him to come to Morehouse, and gave him a full ride,
full scholarship,
and just his story is so dynamic. And KPIX, they just wanted to keep following his journey, and they were like, who are these mentors of yours? And then like literally that's how. And so we were nominated, and it was a selection process with a committee that doesn't work for the station. It was like a random group of people, and they chose us and felt like we deserve to be honored for the work that we've been doing as a couple in our community, and really just trying to uplift the people around us.
I feel like I feel like it's well deserved. You know, my little 2 cents, I feel like it's well deserved. Like, you know what I'm saying? You guys been doing a lot out here. You know what I'm saying? If people don't see the positivity that you guys been pushing, they just not paying attention.
Absolutely. Nah, completely. I want to spotlight 24K Golden.
Oh yes.
Because I feel like with his journey and that process is really what like kicked us off and took us like on a national level, where like major corporations was looking at us and doing different things. And of course our partnership with Forever 21, and now we have a situation with Warner Atlantic, and it's a lot of stuff. We'll save that for the next interview. Because I definitely want to come back and be able to spotlight what we're doing with that. But we're doing some groundbreaking stuff. We're blessed. But Golden is like that kid, him, Bianca, our daughter, and Jasmine Corley is like the core of what we've been doing at Project Level. They were the ones that like we rolled their back to this.
They kicked everything off.
Kicked it off. Yeah. And now a lot of great things. And little Kayla, who was a former student at Project Level, and now we're co-managing her along with our brother DEO. Yeah. It's like a full circle moment as well. Right. She's really finna get her just due finally as well. She deserve it, yeah. She definitely does. So it feels good. Like even, mentioning Stunner and Gunna and them, like being able to be a part of their journey and help them get to the next level. Yeah. Like we couldn't write this any better than what it is, bro. Right. It's perfect. Like this is what we set out to do.
It's a beautiful story, man. The Bay should be proud of you guys. The city should be proud of you guys. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you, bro.
It's a blessing to, again, to have you guys here and just chop it up with you guys. You know what I'm saying? It's dope,
It's an honor. Thank you for letting us tell our story.
Come on now. That's what's needed, and then like I said, we want to get you in here just so we could talk to you about all the music stuff,
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying, and just focus on you and everything like that. But, I wanted to make sure, wifey does get her opportunity, her shine too. And, you know what I'm saying, we just started off with you guys, you know what I'm saying?
Right. No, that's
why
perfect.
That's more impactful with you guys being able to speak your story and, you know what I'm saying, kind of inspire people.
Absolutely.
What you guys got going on, you know what I mean?
We love it, man. We love it. But we'll be back because, I said, we want to spotlight this big thing we're doing with Warner and Atlantic. It's going to be next level. So we'll be back.
Let's do it. I appreciate everything you guys did, coming in through today, all that stuff. Actually, we do got Gunna coming up next. So he going to be here in a little bit. Yeah,
that's what's up, man.
So we got that going on, and, we're just going to keep going. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate it, once again. It's dope. It's dope, man. We've been working on this, I think since the Capolo release party. That's last time I think I seen you in person, seen you,
Heck
talk to you.
So I remember that night too. That was lit.
It was lit.
But yeah, we definitely been trying to get it going. We in now though.
We I appreciate you.
You can't get rid of us now.
Come on now.
Locked in.
Come on now. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys.
So
you know what I'm saying?
Y'all, man.
You guys want to shout out, your what's it like Instagram, social media handle, stuff like that. You know what I mean?
Okay, so Project Level is one of our Instagrams. 10151015 mgmt is for 1015 management, and my personal Instagram is Industry Mama MOMMA.
Yep. Mine is big.rich on Instagram. Is BIG.RICH. I still don't know why Instagram won't give me my blue check.
That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird.
Nah, it's super weird because I sent them 500 articles and I'm like, man, I'm publicated everywhere, bro.
Right.
But yeah, sorry, we get it one day. And follow me on Twitter. I got a cool Twitter following from back in the day, but I'm back on Twitter, so follow me at FillmoreRich3. And but check out Project Level, check out 1015 mgmt. And check out everything that we have going on. And get ready. We about to do a lot 2023. And me and Kayla, we're celebrating our birthday. I don't know when this is coming out, but September 24th, we're doing the biggest party of the year at the Grand. Shout out to Shap Events for putting it together. We're going to celebrate our birthday next month. It's Virgo season right now, you know what I mean? So we up.
I need to be in there with y'all, man.
Pull up. You welcome, bro. Come on. We going to shut it down. It's going to be big. Let's do it.
Because I'm trying to get Kayla in here, too, to come sit down,
get her in. We'll get her in.
I'm trying to do it.
Kayla's a different young character. So she's not doing interviews right now. She's in the studio.
Right.
As soon as we get done with the records,
studio,
we'll be right here.
She told me studio and church right now.
That's it.
You know what I'm saying? We here on a Sunday. That's what I got. We here on a Sunday.
Nah, Danielle was just with her at church last week. she's on their church retreat right now. So she's dedicated, man.
Yeah,
for real.
That's different.
Once the project's done, though, she'll be ready.
Yeah, she'll be ready. We gonna go crazy.
Yeah, she got a spot. You already know.
Definitely, bro.
All right,
Appreciate it.
All right, man. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys. So, look, this is another exclusive episode of Voice of the Streets podcast, man. Make sure y'all go hit that subscribe button for it, man. Follow us on Instagram at Voice of the Streets podcast. You know, we're on Clubhouse, on Twitter, all that kind of stuff. YouTube, you already know. Apple Podcast too. I don't know if y'all know about that, but Apple Podcast as well. I don't think I mentioned that on the last episode, but I appreciate you guys tuning in for this episode. This is a very special one. Thank you again, Rich. Thank you again, Miss Danielle, for coming through. Man, make sure you guys go check out all of their work that they got going on, Project Level, 1015, Stunning Man, Little Kayla, Gunna Goes Global, everything that that they got going on. I mean, it's just, they're putting on for us as the Bay Area. They're showing us, the blueprint of what we need to do. You know what I'm saying? Coming together, giving, each other opportunities to be successful, all that kind of stuff. So, I appreciate you guys watching this one. I appreciate you guys for coming through. It's your boy Ja, founder of Voice of the Streets. Peace.
Thank you.
Peace.
Head out. No head out. No head out. No head out. Big like nigga, this beat bang on mine. Got it out the mud, my nigga.